Hi, I'm Gary White with Channel 6 Central Kentucky Television. We're at Boone's Butcher Shop in Bardstown, and we're celebrating Beef Month, which is May, and I'm here with Caitlin Swartz, who's with the Kentucky Beef Council.
Yes.
Right, we're going to be doing some cooking.
We are. So today we're going to do two recipes. We're going to do a citrus marinated beef and fruit kebab, and then we are also going to do a spicy cheeseburger slider. So we are using a Holland Epic Grill, which is what we are actually going to be giving away. If you go to our website, which is www.kybeef.com, there's a 3-question survey. And if you just fill that survey out as many times as you like, you can enter as many times as you like through the month of May until June the 1st. That's when we're going to draw. So it's a $900 valued grill from the Holland Grill Company. They've been great and generously donated this grill to us. So
Fantastic.
yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started. Just a few tips before. Make sure your grill is a medium-high heat, so you can turn it on and keep the lid closed and just let it circulate the heat. And if you can hold your hand, a good indicator that the heat is correct, you can hold your hand about 4 or 5 seconds without having to pull it away off the heat where it gets too hot. That's a good indicator that it's a good temperature. Okay. So just let it get hot, and then while you're doing that, this is a marinating recipe, so give yourself a little bit of time to do that ahead of time. So,
all right, so let's get started.
Okay, perfect. So what we have here, the star of the show, is a top sirloin that we took to our butcher and asked them to cut into kebab meat about 1 inch to 1.25 inches thick. So fresh meat is always good, and we actually got this at a pretty good price from our local butcher. They're running specials because May is Beef Month. So we just had them cube it into 1.5 inches or 1 inch to 1.25 inches kebab meat, and so we're just going to add.
Now, top sirloin is the best cut to use?
Top sirloin is a great cut to use. Number one, it's super tender and it's super lean. So if you are looking to keep your beef healthy, a lean cut of beef is the way to go. There's over 29 lean cuts, and the top sirloin is one of them, and it is one of the most tender cuts of beef. So we really recommend top sirloin. You could do kebab meat with just about any other type of meat. However, some meats that are less tender are going to require a little bit more marinating. So because this is a tender cut of beef, we're going to marinate for 15 minutes to 2 hours. That's kind of about the max that you want to go. If it's a less tender cut of beef, you can marinate anywhere from 6 to no longer than 24 hours with something acidic. So we're using orange juice today, so that's a great source of acidity. You can use balsamic vinegars or glazes. Those are also really good, and they also are a great umami factor that help bring out the natural flavor of beef. So just a couple of tips.
The umami factor, that's
the
cool.
Umami factor. So we're just going to add a little bit of orange juice. You can use a fresh squeezed orange, because this does require orange zest, which is the colored part of the peel, the rind, not the white part. So we've got a little bit of orange zest that we're going to throw in here as well. And then you want to reserve some of that as well, because we're going to also marinate the fruit in the same marinade. Okay. So a little bit of orange zest, a little bit of smoked paprika, and we also are going to use cilantro. Now you can use fresh cilantro, there is no problem, the recipe calls for it, but we're going to use dried cilantro, and it's just cheaper. So if you're doing a sort of a beef on a budget meal, this is a great way to go. Okay. So we're going to use about 1/8 cup of fresh or dried cilantro. And then we're just going to let that marinate for about 15 minutes to 2 hours. Again, this is a tender cut of beef, so you don't have to marinate that long if you don't want to. Just really keep that in mind. Just enough to get, this is a flavor marinade rather than a tenderizing marinade.
Okay. So this brings in the citrus element.
This brings in the citrus element. It's super good. And also you have that orange zest in there, which really brings out the natural orange oils that you find in oranges. And so it really offers another great taste. And it's a taste you don't expect, but it's really good. So we're just going to let that marinate, put it back in the fridge, and move on.
Okay. And you can get a copy of these recipes by going to our website, centralkytv.com or channel6tv.com, and go to our announcement sections, and we'll have the 2 recipes here as well, so you can kind of follow along.
Absolutely. So now we're going to do the fruit. And the fruit is super simple. There's so many options with grilling fruits. We have watermelon and mango. They're a little bit hardier fruits and a little bit harder, and that's good because the heat is going to make these a little bit softer, so you want to start with something that's got a little bit of substance to it. If you wanted to, you could use any kind of melons. I mean, watermelon, you could use honeydew, you could use cantaloupe. I mean, really anything, really whatever your palate likes. So we've got mango and seeded and cubed watermelon, and we just bought the watermelon from the grocery store already peeled and cut, and then we just cut it into smaller cubes. And then we also bought the mango peeled and sliced as well, so all we had to do was cube it. Super easy. So we're just going to add some more orange juice to this, just enough to coat it. Some more orange peel or orange zest, some more smoked paprika, and then just the rest of your 1/4 of a cup of cilantro, so about 1/8 of a cup divided between the two.
Okay.
And we are just going to let that marinade. Again, you can cover this bowl, put it in the fridge, let it marinate for, you don't have to marinate the fruit for very long. So this is something you could do right before, just enough to get it coated and get a good flavor on it.
Okay.
And then we are just going to let them marinate, and then we're going to skewer them. Now, when you're using kebabs, you want to make sure that you're soaking the kebabs in water for about 15 to 30 minutes prior to starting or before you put them on the grill. And that just prevents them from charring or catching on fire, which could happen if you're not careful, especially if you're grilling over an open flame grill. It's really important to make sure that you're soaking your kebabs. So we've had these soaking this morning, so we're just going to go ahead and skewer those up and get them on the grill.
Okay.
And when you're grilling these, you just want to make sure that they're brown on all sides. Really easy. You don't, if you're really concerned about the temperature, you can make sure that they're 145 degrees internally with an Insta-Read thermometer, and that's medium rare doneness. Now, if you like your steaks medium, that's about 150. So just keep that in mind. Make sure that you're, really you can just get them brown on all sides. They're going to cook pretty quickly because they're only 1 to 1.25 inch cubes. So brown on all sides will pretty much suffice.
And again, we're using the Holland Grill that you can possibly win if you can enter at their website through the end of the month, right?
Yes, absolutely. Go for it. It's a great grill. They offer great customer service. If you ever need any help or need questions answered about your grill, they offer a really good job. And they come out and can help you and actually send somebody out to look and evaluate and make sure that you're doing the right things for your grill.
If you're not fortunate enough to win that, you can also go to Higdon's Appliance Center in Lebanon and buy one yourself too, because they have them there.
A Holland dealer.
So now we're going to skew these, but you said that you actually skew them separately, right?
Correct. So we're going to skew the fruit on one skewer, and then we're going to skew the kebab meat on another skewer, simply because the fruit has a lot of sugar in it, and so sugar is going to burn quickly. So really you just want to get these hot. You want to get them warm and make sure that they're got a lot of flavor to them. So you're almost just warming them up on the grill, which is great. However, your beef needs a little bit longer to cook, so you want to make sure that your beef is separate from your fruit, and also because in case you don't get your beef cooked to the right temperature, it just prevents cross-contamination between your fruit and your beef. So we've just skewered it. You can rotate them. You could do all of the same. Really, there's so many options with this. And we're just going to throw it on the grill.
Okay, going to put that on the grill. That's at a medium heat, right?
Medium heat, so we can test it, put our hand over it for about 4 seconds, and that's when we need to pull it away. And we're just going to lay them there and let them get good and brown on all sides. And then we're going to go back in and, again, take your skewer out of the water. And you could do, these are pretty big hunks of meat, pretty big kebab sizes. And you can do 3 or 4. They make short and long skewers, so really, if you're feeding a big party, this is a great way to go. So we're probably going to get 3 on this skewer. And again, we're just going to separate them so the heat can circulate around all pieces of the meat, all sides of the meat, and then we're just going to place that on the grill as well for about 5 to 10 minutes. Make sure they're brown on all sides.
So we're going to skewer them, we're going to put them on the grill, and when we come back, we're going to get a chance to see our finished product, right?
Yes, absolutely. We'll have a finished product, and Hannah Greenwell is going to be doing our next recipe.
Great.
Yes.
Again, we are at Boone's Butcher Shop in Bardstown. May is Beef Month, and I'm here with Caitlin Swartz with the Kentucky Beef Council. Stay with us.